Hi everyone, Alan Hurlbert here to explain how you create a Caterpillar's Count site online on the website. So I'm going to assume that you've already created a Caterpillar's Count account for yourself. So you'll just go to the website, log into that account. If you're logged in, when you click on this My Account tab, you should see a variety of options here, and you just want to click Create New Site. It'll take you to this really simple form. If you are an organization, for example, you might be the North Carolina Botanical Garden, right? Then just create a site name. It might make the most sense to use a site name that's the name of your organization or your state park, etc. In that case, you might have a URL that you can put in here optionally, and you might have some canned description of what your site consists of in terms of the natural area it supports. But if you happen to just be an individual setting up a site in your backyard, you want to come up with a name for that as well. Now, I could, if I was setting up a site, I could just call it Alan's Backyard, but of course, there could very well be other Allens across the globe who might set up a Caterpillar's Count site. We want this to be in some way distinct. So there's a few options. I mean, you could use like the name of your local neighborhood or development. Something like that might be a little bit more distinctive. You could, use your pet's name and come up with something creative. We have a pet named Paprika, so maybe something kind of silly even, but something that's going to be distinctive that won't get confused with another site. Okay, so in that case, maybe we'll leave the URL blank if it's just a personal backyard. But in the site description, you can still describe what it's like. So maybe it's suburban backyard adjacent to natural forest, or I can even be more specific, oak, hickory, and beech forest, something like that, right? Something to describe that natural area. Ultimately, it's up to you how much detail you put in there, but you're of course limited to 140 characters. You're then going to zoom in and as far as possible to place that pin as accurately as possible, right? So here I've just zoomed way in here. Of course, it might be easier to switch to satellite view. So again, place that pin as far zoomed in as close as possible to be as accurately as possible for where that location is. Two more things you'll have to decide. One is how many plants or survey branches are you going to set up at your site? And that number, it must be a multiple of 5. And the minimum is 10. So you'll see this drop down starts at 10, and then you can increase it in increments of 5. In the video on how to physically set up a Caterpillar's Count site, we'll describe the layout of those. But basically, you can budget ballpark about 5 minutes per survey. So if you set up a site with, let's say, 15 branches, then that should probably take about an hour and 15 minutes to survey all of them, right? 10 would be about 50 minutes to survey all of them. And the idea is that you'll survey all of your branches within a single day, within a given sampling day. So make that decision. And then the last thing to do is choose a password. And this is a site password, which is distinct from your personal account password. The site password, you will, if you are a nature center, environmental ed center, or a school, you'll share this password with all the people who might be doing surveys at that site, so they know it. And that's just the way that it is verified that people actually have permission to submit data for that particular site. So that's something you specify here. And of course, if you forget, you can always change it later. You'll just confirm that, type it again. And as long as this checkbox is checked, then your new site will show up on a list of participating Caterpillar's Count sites. Some people might be browsing that list to see if there's a site near them where they can do surveys. If you're a personal backyard and you don't want people to be contacting you about that, you can uncheck the box. And then click Create Site, and that's it. Your site will now exist in our database, and you'll be ready to submit surveys. Hope that was helpful. Take a look at our other videos to learn about how to conduct surveys, set up a site, and other questions that we've answered. Thanks. Have a great day.